Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor and former Republican congressman. Jason, I think there seems to be some confusion. The American people do care about what happened on January 6th. They don't want it to ever happen again. They want to understand the security measures so people that are enemies to our country don't get to exploit it in the future. But they also care about what's happening to them on the day-to-day basis. They care about what's happening at the pump. They care about what's happening when they want to go get their groceries. But it doesn't seem like the Democrats are able to square that point. Where am I going wrong here, sir?
Well, focus determines reality. I'm one that believes there should be a robust investigation of what happened on January 6th. It was a horrific day. But when you put it in prime time and then you run a sham of a hearing in that you don't allow the minority to have representation there, I think America figures out real quickly that it's just a made-for-TV show event, that they're not really, they've already made up their mind. They're just presenting things to try to knock on Donald Trump. And what they don't see is the vibrant primetime discussion and investigation about inflation, immigration. The core things, crime. We don't see the hearings on that. Jerry Nadler over in Judiciary could be having a whole series of things about shootings in Chicago or homelessness or some of these Democratic policies. Are they working or they're not working? Well, we know they're not working. And so despite what Nancy Pelosi says at the podium, Americans figure this out. They go to the gas pump. They're spending $100 to fill up their truck, and it doesn't even get to full. Their credit card maxes out. It's a real problem, and the Democrats are just oblivious, saying, oh, it's all Putin's fault, like he runs the world. Oh, if Putin does it, then where's the president? How come he doesn't have a plan? You know where he is this hour? He's getting on a plane to go on vacation again to Rhode Island and go to a beach. That does not signify competence or caring.
Jason, why was there such an effort to get rid of regular order in Congress? I mean, these rules have been implemented for over 100 years, where the minority party, whether you disagree or agree with them, gets their shot to paint their narrative, to ask their questions, to call their witnesses. Why did the Speaker decide to remove that?
Because she didn't want to answer some hard questions herself, like how come she didn't secure the Capitol? Where were the National Guard? How come the Capitol Hill police were ill prepared? She doesn't want to answer any of those questions. They want a narrative that just pushes in one direction. There's a basic fairness in this country. Even if you've already made up your mind, I think most people know and understand that both sides get to present their case and get to ask questions. And there's a reason why they didn't want Congressman Banks and Congressman Jim Jordan asking tough questions. They just shied away from that. They are afraid of it, and the country is worse for it. The country is worse for it. I want to switch gears with you, Jason, because crime is on the rise in New York City, all across the country. A career criminal who was out on bail randomly slugging a woman on the street, all thanks to a deal cut by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. And in Los Angeles, District Attorney George Gascon's policies probably led to the probation time of a man who later gunned down two police officers. They both died on the scene. Prosecutors were pushing for a 3-year sentence for the gunman. Gascon's office insisted it was following the law. Records show at least 156 police officers have been shot across the country since the beginning of the year. So the question is, Jason, what are they going to do about this? This is not just happening in New York City, San Francisco, or all the major cities. It's happening in suburbs because, as you know, even if it's a Republican suburb, the county prosecutes, and it's progressives that are leading the charge on this. Yeah, I mean, look, it was just, 2 years ago, Kamala Harris was out there raising money to help bail people out and get them out as fast as possible. You didn't hear, and you still don't hear, an impassioned plea that says we want criminals to be prosecuted and to do their time. You don't hear any advocacy by the Democrats to say, you know what about the victims in this case? What about the pharmacy that's just going to pack up and leave out of that community that really needs it the most? You don't hear any of that discussion. And I've heard you personally talk about this and the passion that you have. But we love our police officers. And if you want a safe community, you're going to need a police officer that has the moral support of not only the elected officials, but the community at large, and then a prosecutor, once they do arrest somebody, that actually prosecutes that person and puts them behind bars, not gets them out on probation as quickly as possible, like we saw in California, where those 2 police officers lost their lives as somebody who really should have been behind bars.
You know, it's just ridiculous. Police just don't want to do the job anymore because of the tone and tenor that is being set in these cities. Check this out. This is a New York Post op-ed. Police officers have always risked their lives when they put on the badge and go out on patrol, but they didn't sign up to serve under a system that protects the criminal more than the victims or the peace officers. LA County has more residents than many other states, and they all deserve better. I mean, this guy has a track record in LA, okay? 10 years ago, that's when he was doing the robberies. Then in 2020, he has a gun charge with drugs. The girlfriend days before calls the cops and say, you know what, this guy's threatening me. They didn't do anything about it. The cops tried to, but the DA didn't want to do anything about it. And then the wife is at the hotel, girlfriend and wife, 2 different people, right? It's trying to flee him. And now they want to have an investigation, Jason. We know what to do.
Yeah, no, this is what's so wrong in law enforcement today. We need to pay these people more. We need to support them more. And when they actually do risk their lives and take people off the street, they've got to be prosecuted. And too many of these prosecutors have figured out, hey, let's just put them back out on the streets as quickly as possible. And you know what? That's up to voters who I think up in San Francisco took the right action. They got a chance there in Los Angeles to reverse course. But don't just assume that you know, everybody's going to treat this the same. They don't. When the deputy DAs unite to say this person is a problem, they need to get out of there. But our police officers, gosh, we love them, we care for them, but it is a dangerous job, and they are not buoyed up and supported the way they should be. And for those of us in the kind of the silent majority, we need to let our voices be heard and let them know we back the blue.
Yeah. You know, I don't think people are silent anymore. They can't afford to. They're losing their loved ones. It's like Russian roulette when you walk down the streets today. And it doesn't matter if you're in a liberal city or a conservative city, because crime is everywhere. The criminals are just everywhere. And they only care about the gun when it's a mass shooting. What about this guy with the gun? They did nothing about it. Jason Chaffetz, thanks so much, brother.